I've really been looking forward to sharing this story with everyone. In the bestseller, Have a Little Faith, Mitch Albom tells a story of a church with a heart as big as the hole in its roof. But the Detroit Pilgrim Church, home of I Am My Brother's Keeper, and I love that name, I Am My Brother's Keeper Ministry. It served its congregation, had an enormous hole in the roof. And the church didn't have the money to fix it because they were so busy helping the community. They weren't thinking about themselves. But the hole wasn't big enough to stop the ministry's mission, and that's serving people in Detroit in need. This Christmas, the congregation at Detroit's Pilgrim Church has good reason to celebrate. But just a few weeks ago, that was not the case. Built in the late 1800s, the Trumbull Avenue Church, once the largest Presbyterian church in the Midwest, had fallen on hard times. The neighborhood, once grand, had gone downhill. The houses, once beautiful, began to decay as their owners moved away. And the church, once so vital, had become a burden to its dwindling congregation. In 1992, the Presbyterian congregation gave the building to Pilgrim Church I Am My Brother's Keeper ministry. Keeping up the church would prove to be a challenge.
Our church has been made fun of, the raggedy church with the hole in the ceiling.
What had started out as a roof in need of repair was, by last Christmas, a roof with a big hole in it. A hole big enough that snow, rain, and wind coming into the sanctuary made it almost unusable. And there was no money to fix it. Despite the hole in the roof, the church filled a hole in the community. It was a home to those without homes or hope, offering its gym to those in need of a place to sleep, its kitchen to those in need of a meal.
Here you go, sir.
Well, thank you.
Its prayers to those in need of faith.
You know, we're limited in our ability, but God, I won't doubt Him.
If you had come here the same day that I had come here and seen this whole sanctuary empty because nobody could sit in it. Over to the left was a plastic tent, and people huddled with their coats on, trying to pray and stay warm.
Enter my good friend Mitch Albom, devoted Detroit resident, always trying to make his adopted home a better place to live for everyone.
And at that point, I don't think you ask, well, what faith are they, or are they the same as me? You just see these are people who need help. And that's when I told Henry, you won't have another Christmas like that.
So began the Hole in the Roof Foundation, dedicated to helping faith organizations that aid the homeless. Its first project, the Pilgrim Church roof.
This is just part of the list.
People opened their hearts and their wallets to this church that most of them would never see.
Washington, D.C., Carlisle, Pennsylvania, Greenville, North Carolina.
The contributions came from as far away as New Zealand, $1 from a child, thousands from the well-to-do. A church in Fontana, California paid for building supplies for this unknown, unseen church in need.
We just love to care for the poor, and we think that that giving back makes a difference. It makes a difference in people's lives like this, and it makes a difference in our lives.
Local contractors pitched in. Volunteers, many of them laid-off workers, came by the dozen.
Today we're celebrating, Pastor Henry, that the roof's getting done.
The work began.
1, 2, 3.
And continued at a fever pitch for 2 weeks. And at the end of 2 weeks, call it a Christmas miracle performed by a band of angels, the job was done.
He comes in on phones.
So on a gray, rainy December day, Pastor Henry Covington welcomed his congregation and their community, and many of the folks who had worked so hard for them, to a warm, dry sanctuary. Joy shining through.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Where there had once been a gaping hole, there is now a brand new roof, marked by a plaque bearing the names of every single contributor. A simple reminder that a helping hand can be the greatest gift to give and receive.
We want the people to learn brotherhood and love and the importance of caring for one another, because the only way we're going to survive, we didn't do this by ourselves. We couldn't get the roof done alone, but it was having that sense of community that got this thing done.
Everyone there is so unbelievably grateful that people came to their
Christmas they are going to have.
Oh, Oh, a glorious Christmas they're going to have. And, you know, it just shows us faith can connect us. Sometimes we talk about how different faiths and it drives us apart, but this is really showing us how faith, in the end, can really connect us all together.
It's absolutely powerful, too, just what in times of need, how faith can give you a certain clarity about what's important.
I just love the chain of helping hands. I mean, somebody who needs help and they get help from somebody else who can give it to them. It's just a nice thing.
It reminds me of the work of Pastor Rick Warren as his communities go adopt other communities in Africa and around the world who need help as well.
You see that. And if you want to know more, go to our website, and you also can read an excerpt of Mitch's book. I have a little, I'm sorry. Have a little faith. Sorry, Mitch.
Gotta love that Mitch Albom, right? I mean, what an active.
He's wonderful.